So this is just a part of the line to get into the 2017 D23 Expo, but I will continue the vlog inside of the Expo. So before getting into the Expo, you get a souvenir guide, some things, and a guide.
You need sunblock. Burn it up.
Oh, that's from yesterday.
Someone has already put.
They didn't believe it. So we had to go talk to like a manager.
So when you walk in, they give you a list of pins, but they have a plethora of Star Wars gear, Disney parks gear. I'm just gonna quickly browse through everything and probably buy some of the limited edition pins like these. This is what I'm buying right here. Future World Epcot, the band. This is what I need in my life. I'm buying that pin right there. And that shirt's like awesome. A bunch of different posters and things like that. Other little like statues or whatever, these little knickknacks and stuff like that. Here in the
friendship, laughter, and cheesecake. Please remember that video and audio recording of any kind is strictly prohibited.
One's feelings over a cheesecake at midnight. You know, how did that become part of the show, and why has it prevailed as this thing that people tend to latch onto?
Well, those were our favorite scenes to write because, you know, the writer's lament is writing a plot because it goes to here, it goes to here, it goes to here. And that scene was a scene where you could do anything. They would start the scene talking about, oh, we talked Rose into going away with that man on the trip. Anyway, and then Blanche would tell this crazy story. So those became our favorite, and they worked, and the women loved them. And
they were about 7 or 8 minutes long.
Yeah, it was some of the best writing on the show, I think.
I do too.
For those scenes.
Yeah.
Then late at night, opening up, talking about their past. Again, it fleshes out all the characters.
Right, absolutely. So there's some other things that are part of the show that fans have really started to latch onto, like the fact that the show took place in Miami. You know, why Miami? You know, are these locations that we visit in the show, are they real locations? Are they fictional? You know, what about that universe was created specifically for the show, and what was borrowed from real life?
Well, I'd like to throw in the comment that, you know, the whole art of multi-camera television being presented and recorded in front of a live audience is becoming is a shrinking universe. And this was in the era of so much that was being done that way. Everything, I don't think there was ever anything that was not shot inside the studio on that show. I mean, on Friends and on the shows I'm on now, we maybe go off stage 2 or 3 times a season, but that is it. Right. It's very important that the whole show take place on the stage like a play for the audience. And in this show in particular, it was recorded on a videotape, so it has its unique look to it that's very specific to the era that those cameras were made in. And I just think that I hope that everybody continues to watch multi-camera comedy, because it's a shrinking universe, but it's a treasure when it works.
Absolutely. Especially being there during take nights, because we would stand in between these 4 amazing actors and then this audience of all ages laughing, and sometimes you couldn't believe that they were saying your words and this was the reaction. It was crazy nights and so much fun.
Yeah. So I'd love to address our production designers now and kind of talk about what was it like to design for this show. And the house has become a very iconic thing. The living room has become an iconic thing. Blanche's wallpaper, the kitchen, like there. Yeah. And you know, what is it about designing this show or designing any show where the set all of a sudden almost takes on a character of its own?
Well, since I walked into the office, I had left working for Ed. I had decorated Benson and Soap and It's a Living and several of the shows, and I had started my career on Star Search and was designing that. And Ed called me and said, "I've got a great script. Come on, decorate it." So I said, "Well, I'm not decorating anymore, Ed." So I went over and he said, "Here, if they don't screw this up, this is going to be a big hit and run forever." He had enough experience that he could read it. So I went out and read the script. He was very careful. He was very, "Okay, give me the script back, what do you think?" And so we had a conversation, and he had it in his head already, the kind of environment, that he wanted this to be played in. In particular, it was the lanai, the sense of outside coming in a little bit, and even though it's in Miami, having a fireplace up center. And he was very specific about the use of the wood, this very gray wash tone kind of look. Pecky cypress, but whitewashed kind of effect. And then when I started decorating, Michael, you were on the pilot, were you?
Oh, yeah.
You were drawing it.
I drew and modeled
and then we were got into the business of a lot of neutrals in terms of the paint tones and things like that. But Ed did come to me with the idea of, "What do you think, John, if we get that wallpaper from the Beverly Hills Hotel and we just glue it to the wall and we'll cut it out around?" So we glued it to the wall, then I went in with a pencil and sketched out where the painters would then cut out which leaves, and we'd keep it in.
And you're talking about Blanche's bedroom.
Blanche's bedroom wallpaper. Right, and
Then
then
a lot of that wallpaper.
Isn't
You
it?
get letters all the time about that.
Oh, yeah.
I still make it right here in LA. Stockwell, CW Stockwell.
Now everyone knows.
I ordered 1,000 rolls of it once for an episode of Friends.
And didn't you say you also custom made Blanche's bedspread from the same pattern?
Yes, the drapes and the bedspread matched the wallpaper.
On the lasting legacy of the show and how it is connected with fans of every demographic, of every age group, of any type possible. Why do you think that is? What is it about this show for ladies, single ladies living with each other in old age that has connected with so many people? I open that to the rest of them.
Yeah. It's sort of complicated because there's so many different things about the show. I think that makes it this timeless thing. I hear often, they find out that I wrote the show. Oh, I'm such a big fan of the show. I would watch it with my grandmother when I was little, and now I watch it with my kids. So this thing gets passed down, and I think that, I didn't connect much with my grandmother. We had nothing in common except sitting there and laughing on a Saturday night. So I think that's one aspect, and I think it's a story that says a lot of positive things. Your life is not over at 50. There's a lot more to live, and they, those women showed it. So I think it was very popular among the gay community because it sent out also this message. There'll be another family. If your family is not happy with you, you'll find there'll be another family. People will have your back. They'll love you. So I think there's a lot of those things happening in that show, and as you said before, it sends a positive message. At the time we need it most now, and it's 30 years later.
And they didn't filter. They just said what they thought. At the end of the day, they still came together over cheesecake and loved each other.
And I just want to get this in. They also, as people, they also walk the walk. They would do a show all week, and then on the weekend they go together like a team for AIDS research, benefits, on and on and on. You pick,
award shows.
And award shows we were at quite a bit. Animal rights, all the rest of it. But I'm saying these women really taught us a lot. We were young. We were very young, and they taught us not only how you work professionally, but you give back. They were really amazing people. B. Arthur, in fact, I think when she passed away, she left $1 million for an LBGT.
She left $300,000 in her will for the Ali Frenay Center to build a residence with her name, and they are an amazing New York-based charity that builds housing for LGBT homeless kids who've been kicked out by their families. And
they really were the real deal. They were good, really amazing people.
And I think the great thing is they knew, or we all knew, whilst we were doing. Sometimes you look back on things and say that was wonderful, but we knew at the time. I couldn't wait for the script to come in for next week. I'd sit down, couldn't wait for it to come in, and I'd look at it. It would always be so good, and then it would get better. And the ladies felt that same. They had such respect for the crew and the writers, and they had trust. There was a lot of trust that if it's not right today, it will be, and it always was. And the generational thing that I just echo what Barry was saying, that so many people watched it under so many different conditions, circumstances, and you can watch it over and over again, and I'm so glad you do. I'd be interested, it's hard to see it. How many people watch it streaming? How many people watch it on 10 times a day? And how many people watch it on the channel? Thank you so much. I'm serious. This is a very young audience, and so you must have just discovered it with your parents and your grandparents, and please keep it going when you have kids of your own.
At the table read, didn't you read the announcement what the ratings were? Because we didn't have computers, so they would, and each week it would go up, because remember, we didn't know with the first season if people would even watch it. And I remember they would read it out loud.
Well, it was a hit, like the first week, wasn't it? Yeah.
But 28 million people, I think, saw it the first week.
Saturday night, which nobody watches TV on Saturday night now, that was an anchor night.
I'll tell you how I knew it was a hit, but at the end of the first year, we had to go to New York for some reason. I think it was Tony, all of us. Anyway, we went to the meeting, and then we were walking back to the hotel, like on the Upper West Side where they have the brownstones, and it's very quiet up there, tree-lined street, and all of a sudden we heard a little laughter, and it was really loud laughter on this block. They were watching the girls.
Oh, it was going out live at that time, yeah.
Yeah, we were Saturday night in New York, and we heard it on the TV, and they were laughing. So it's a hit.
So Jim, you've talked to so many people and you've interviewed so many folks for your book who were involved with the show, and I know that you are involved with the community. Tell us, what do people think about this show, and what do they connect with from your perspective?
I think all the things you said, Barry, I think it's so true for the gay community and for other communities too. I mean, I think it's so true. It's the fantasy of the surrogate family, and that you can build a family out of your friends and they'll always be there for you. But I think what's really unique about this show too is that, and at the time I was writing it, my theory was that only so far I Love Lucy and the Golden Girls had done this, which is that they had a whole new generation of fans who, if you did the math, weren't even born when it was on the first time. So it's not that there are definitely people who watched it with their mothers and their grandmothers, and now they've passed it on. But there are people out there watching it now who didn't do any of that, who weren't alive when it went off the air in 1992. If you do the math, any college kid now wasn't born then. So something about this show makes it leap generations and find a new audience all on its own. And as I said, at the time, only I Love Lucy and Golden Girls, I think, did that among comedies. Now I think Friends is going to do that, and because now that it's on Netflix and streaming. So I think that it's a magical formula. It's what the show says, the talent, accessibility, where you can find it, and it's in such a small, esteemed company of shows, this phenomenon shows no sign of slowing. Look at all the things that are coming out. The Golden Girls coloring book that came out, and Clue, and Monopoly, the Golden Girls Cafe in New York.
Legos.
Keep happening.
Legos.
Well, the Legos didn't happen, but that could have happened.
But that speaks to it because it was a fan generated.
Right.
There's
Exactly.
so much
Fan
fan
generated
art
art.
out there. There's so many things online.
The
The
shirt.
make, the stand shirt,
Your shirt.
Your shirt.
my Golden Girls Hawaiian shirt.
It not only does it 30 plus years after its debut show no signs of stopping, and the irony is that it was about older women that people thought no one was going to watch. So the irony is so delicious that not only does it show no signs of stopping, but it seems to be accelerating.
Right. Yeah, and there's no niche audience.
Thank you. For a program to find itself timeless is a pretty remarkable thing. And of course, writing and the directing and the performance of the work by those women was timeless. And then the challenge is how to not become too period authentic so that it would be visually timeless. So I think scenically we kind of crossed over a little bit into a timeless kind of visual look in terms of the rooms and the furniture.
Partly because it was
the
retro.
episodes.
There were elements from another period to begin.
To begin, it was kind of the
Reviving.
And because for 2 of the 4 characters, the whole wardrobe was all custom, so it wasn't a slave to the 80s. I mean, you can see 80s influence.
But there are a few, but that's the one place you really could see it now and then.
The shoulder pad.
Especially when huge shoulder
And
pads.
an
we had our own
interesting
style,
sidebar. We had, I think it was 24 and a half minutes to tell our story. That was the playing time with Unplugged and the commercials. Nowadays, it's less than 21 minutes. And the difference in depth of storytelling that you could do in 21 minutes to 24 and a half minutes is quite remarkable. And I think that's what gave the show texture and pacing that you can't do now.
And it's unfortunate when it was syndicated. I think the shows, they would, to put more commercials in, they cut it down. And I just couldn't watch them.
I can't either.
I couldn't watch them because the moments that don't count, sort of,
Yes.
they're not on, are the best moments.
Which of the moments give it its gravitas?
Yeah, and it makes it real and human. I can still hear B saying it. She would laugh, not at the obvious joke. She would laugh at that one that was really a little offbeat, and she'd look at you and she'd go, "That was delicious." And I look for those delicious jokes.
But that extra 3.5 minutes that you don't get now is
It doesn't sound like much, but it's huge.
It's huge in terms of storytelling and pacing.
Or just to sit and have a conversation.
Yeah, pacing.
Rather than
Leisure.
always quick scenes.
I think one other thing that I'd like to reflect in front of everybody here on is the legacy of the show in terms of the people who worked on it and what has happened to them as they've gone forward. Like for myself, working for Ed, and now Ed's daughter is working for me. Michael worked for Ed, and I met Michael when I was in grad school in Pittsburgh, and he was a freshman and I was a grad student. But the whole, now Stu Palladino, who was with the show forever, is at Warner Brothers, and all the people who worked on that show are kind of spread out in the industry. And Mark Cherry, who did a lot of Horowitz, I forgot their start. Chris Lloyd, Bernard family.
Up and down, even the crew, I run into people on every show, I'm sure you do too. In fact, before coming here, part of the reason I was late, I had to answer questions on another show for my painter, Barry Grant, who took over in the 3rd season and painted all the sets for the
Well, and Don Morgan, who was
back then he was a lighting designer because it was shot at a network studio, had just received an Emmy nomination for his work on The Ranch. And he is the one who did this pilot, and I'm still working with it.
And I think a lot of that credit goes to Paul and Tony.
Yes.
They had done so. This was their giant hit, but they had done so, and Benson, the show I worked on. But as a writer in those days, that's the place you wanted to work.
And they wrote hard on it too. They were very involved. Tony would get very involved in the editing. I mean, he lived on the editing.
And we writers' room. Yeah. Usually the producers would not be in there, they're not writers.
They look forward to that. That was, you know, we would have a script come to the table on Monday night, and then we'd work it some Monday, and then we'd come down to see what Terry had done, and we'd see it up on its feet. And then Tuesday night was a big rewrite, and I would stay there all night sometimes. Well, Paul and Tony loved that night more than any other night of the week.
Really?
They loved it because it was a chance to like play.
Yeah.
A little bit, we throw jokes around and stuff. It was an intimidating room.
It was a scary room. Very scary.
But there wasn't a weak link there, and it was a writer's company, first and foremost. They respected the writer. Other shows, it was the star, you know, they took their cue from the star, but because with Thomas Harris, Susan Harris was a writer and one of the partners, the writer was sacrosanct. They really treated us beautifully. So I think it started right there.
And even in creating other pilots, well, my brother, writing partner Jim Berg, will say, we need like a Sophia character that can come in and always give the zinger to end a scene, because it was always so helpful to have her there. So it has affected us in our other work as well.
Yeah, again, that, you know, the lasting legacy of the show permeates not only fandom, but the industry as well.
In regards to that, I think this show has more people who have been inducted into the Television Academy Hall of Fame than any other show. I was the chairman of the Academy when Susan Harris was inducted, and when B. Arthur was inducted, and I think Betty White had been inducted before that. So it's quite remarkable that many people out of one show are now respected.
And in the history of television, I think this is right. There's only two shows that won, the entire cast, won an Emmy. It was All in the Family and Golden Girls.
Yeah. Will and Grace, a few others.
There were a couple others. So
But
you know,
not many others.
yeah, it doesn't happen very often. That was kind of cool that everybody
Thank God they
out there not.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank God.
That's been ugly. Yes.
And not to mention
that last year to a B.
And not to mention, all four ladies have been inducted as Disney legends since this is Disney. I'd like to thank our amazing panelists for coming up here and sharing the history. And of course, in the grand tradition of musical episodes of the Golden Girls, what would a Golden Girls panel be without a sing-along to the theme song of the Golden Girls? So, if you're
Adam, Guru, and Justin Scott. Day 2, 6 o'clock in the morning. Came early to avoid the line. What you doing for?
And then buy one, get one free. Yeah. You're allowed. Yeah. You just gotta break them in before you run it up.
D23! For the Disney store.
There's a couple. I'll move them over.
So now that we've left the Disney store, I'm gonna go check out some cool thing that they got here that I've been dying to do. I wanted to do the DuckTales, but they give out wristbands and I can't do it, so oh well. So these are models of Radiator Springs. I actually think that they sell these inside the park. This would be the DuckTales movie bin. Look, these two are dressed up as Otto and his girlfriend wife thing. So the Marvel booth will be having a signing party here. They gave out wristbands. And this is, they're going to be unveiling some sculptures. And they also have a model of the Guardians right here. I will be making the line for the Disney Park and Resorts. Hopefully I'll be able to make it. That is the Disney Dream Store that I visited yesterday, but I'm gonna check out some of the things that are over here. Probably go into the Disney booth, and actually these are really like, these are like little mini dresses, but I'm gonna try to go into the Disney booth and look around and see what else I can see before I leave. Inside the animation booth they have a Wreck-It Ralph and Vanessa statue kind of thing, and a little preview of the Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet. It's basically the next Wreck-It Ralph movie. Have a small frozen fruit. So this is a Galaxy Stories, the Disney Parks booth here in D23, and they've actually supposedly leaked the name of Galaxy's Edge being the name of Star Wars Land, but this is some of the teaser stuff that they have outside. I will not be going inside, but I will be putting some pictures up after I, you know, show all of this stuff. But I will not be going because it's a 2.5 hour wait, and I really do not want to wait 2.5 hours to see the model. But these are just some teaser things that they have here in the front.
One of those to get me to work and back.
So in this area of the Expo, they have little booths that are, you know, not Disney, they're other booths, but they have a lot of pins and a lot of pop figures. But I'll be going through a few, like this one that has the Space Mountain original opening day attraction vehicle and other memorabilia. WDW Radio is here, and they have a huge Groot and 88, I believe, balloon people. This booth has hundreds of pop figures. This booth sells Mickey or other, well, yeah, really Disney related apparel and accessories. This booth sells a lot of different decorated Disney and other, you know, universe realm things, backpacks and bags. This booth sells a lot of collectibles and other pins. Basically, most of these booths sell Disney memorabilia, pins, and pop figures, and anything within those lines. This is a Disney Legends booth, and they basically showcase the legends and some of them that were inducted this year. And this is the statue that's right here in the middle. Behind center stage, they have a Funko booth. They have an Oh My Disney booth, which has panels constantly, and they have a food area where they make some things like pancakes, like those, you know, character pancakes. Actually, they might be making one right now. Oh, look at that! Wow. They have a patio furniture set, little cafe over here.
Big, beautiful, fluffy.
They have a couple things here, more household, and oh, actually everything is over here is basically household, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And then they have some more stuff back, small little Doc McStuffins area where your kids can play like a little doctor. They have a little Tsum Tsum area with a photo op and Tsum Tsums. Have some artwork back here, and then they have a area which is called Mickey's Travel. Oh look, this is a railroad car.
Yeah. So our game is over.
From the Disneyland Railway. They also have a Spiro booth, which is a little balls that, like, you know, move around, you know. And this Mickey Travels. I want to know what this is. It's just a booth where you can buy stuff that is like Disney travel related. And they also have this little delectable. I thought this was ice cream. I'm so disappointed. But they have these little Mickey desserts and stuff like that. And lastly, they have this booth here with a bunch of artwork, and this is actually the line for the Disney store. With a bunch of prints and artworks and different things that you can buy and spend your money on. Hey everybody, so I'm going to be showing you everything that I bought at the D23 Expo, but I will start with all the free stuff that they give you at the beginning. So obviously they give you the bag, and then they give you the lanyards for your event pass. Here's my event pass. And they give you the time guide, and they also give you the souvenir guide. So that's basically it. So I kind of actually I sort of have a problem, and I kind of hoard everything, but I like to keep little things from each place that I go, or like if I go to another convention, or if I go to a park, I'll keep something from there that's like a free thing that they gave me or something like that. But yeah, that's basically it that I got for free, but I will show you some other things now. So the first thing I'm going to show you is this Disney Treasures box. And it's basically like the Marvel Collector Core boxes, but I will be doing this unboxing video right now. So basically inside, you have the option of two things. You could have got the Festival of Friends, or you could have gotten a Pirates of the Caribbean themed box. I got the Festival of Friends because I'd rather buy it than Pirates. But it came with 2 pop figures, and this is kind of what it looks like when you open it. They have little slots for pins, and see, there's like little places for your pins and patches. And then first you have this, which is like a little carnival box here, you know, has like this little design, and then inside is a little pop mini of Woody, if I can focus on it. But that is basically it. Let me put this guy aside. It also gives you a Pluto pop figure, and an exclusive Dumbo with Timothy. This is one of these exclusive pop figures for that event. I really like them. And then this is the patch that they gave you with the box, and it's like a Piglet patch. And they also give you this thumper pin, if it can, you know, actually focus my camera. There's a thumper pin. And then they give you this pin for buying for an extra $20 you can get the next box for next month. and I actually paid that extra 20 bucks. So they gave you this pin and the box for next month. So all you basically have to do is put in the code on the card that they gave you, and you will be able to get the next box. Well, not free, but for 20 bucks, which is like 10 bucks cheaper. Really, it'd be like 5 bucks cheaper because they give you a pin. Pins are like 5 bucks. So, you know, it's a good deal. You know, extra 5 bucks, you get a pin. Extra 20 bucks, you get a pin. Get a new box, you know. You might have noticed from this video that I like Golden Girls. I know a lot of people don't like Golden Girls, but I do. So I actually have, since I also collect pop figures, I have Rose, but I didn't have the other 3 Golden Girls. So I took advantage and I bought the other 3 Golden Girls. You know, here's one. And they're all actually really nice and packed up in plastic wrap, so you know they won't get damaged. But they were all $45 combined because it was like 3 for $40, like $15 each. And there was another booth that was selling them for $30, but they had a lot of marks that, you know, like if you buy them and you want to resell them, if you have marks on the box, it's not like, you know, collectible anymore. So just a bunch of, I'd rather pay an extra 5 bucks each box to get like an actually nice box, you know. So I got 3 things from the Disney store. I got one of my favorite characters, this Oswald pin right here, and it's called Oswald Kissing, if it could focus. And it's basically Oswald, and in the background him and his girl Oswald, I don't even know the name, such a bad fan, kissing. I also got this 35th anniversary Epcot pin with the Dream Finder and, you know, all the older Epcot stuff that you can't find anymore. I also got this postcard with a Small World design. So yeah, that's basically all I got from the Dream store. The convention also had some mom and pop shops. So these pins that you see right now were a total of $20, and they had a small bin, and they gave you the bin, and you could fill them up with 10 pins on the boards, and they would be all 10 bucks. So I got a Jack up here, you know, Jack. I actually don't remember the name of this little ghost guy, but that's like his dog. I have Sally. I'm pretty sure this is Dale. I forgot if it's like the red nose or black nose is Dale. Anyways, a 50th anniversary for pin for Disneyland, and Olaf with the little snowman from the Pixar short, a Dumbo Tsum Tsum, and then 3 macaroons. And then I came over here, and this was $35, but I was really looking for a pin like this, and it's basically a Main Street Electrical Parade with the dragon float and the drum float. So yeah, that's basically all I got from the mom and pop vendors in D23. Lastly, I got this guy. So this is the 90th anniversary Oswald plush, and it's basically Oswald, and his head turns all around, you know, his arms move, and then he has a small design on like all of his body is this design. If we can focus. Yeah, that design is all over his body. But yeah, it's very cute. But I got this online the day after, or later in the day, just because they had sold out right when I was in the line. So for an extra, it's $43.95, and I got it for $50 online. So it wasn't that much more expensive. But this is basically the only thing that I got from the Disney store at the D23 Expo. So I'm going to give you my review on the whole thing. I think if you're a super huge fan, the only way that you can like actually sleep and have a good time is if you get the Sorcerer's package. If you pay $2,000, they will literally let you shop ahead of time, do a bunch of stuff, go in earlier, get free seats, like reserve seats for all shows. The only way you can actually sleep at night without like waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning is doing that. The first day I got there at 8 o'clock, which is an hour before opening. The first show had already been booked. People had been waiting overnight, which is kind of like, I paid money to go, why can't I go? Anyways, so I missed the whole Disney Legends ceremony. And I got in 3 hours late. I had to wait in lines for everything. Nothing was open. Every wristband was given out. So the next day I came 3 hours early, and the Disney live action film panel was all booked at 5 o'clock. Like, why? I was like one of the only ones, and that in the Disney parks. So I asked somebody, hi, when can I get in line and where can I get in line for the Disney parks? They said, oh, you can get in line once you get inside. But you'd probably have to wait now because you'd have to wait the whole day. So I only had 2 days because I really didn't want to go to the third day because I'm not a big, I mean, I could care less about the Disney music stuff, you know. So a lot of the people there didn't really know what was going on. I was getting ping pong between people because nobody like actually knew information. There's only like a few people that knew information. The lines were super long. Everything, like, I was like super disappointed. So the good thing is I got to go to the parks after the second day because I had been waiting 3 hours outside. The first panel was done, all booked, which was one that I really wanted to go to. The Disney Parks panel, I had to wait it was like 7 hours or 6. Oh wait, so it starts at 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 6 hours to get in, and I would waste my whole day. And then on top of that, there's lines everywhere. You can't do anything unless you get there super early or you're a sorcerer, and then they give you the wristbands ahead of time because there's certain events where they give you wristbands, but what they don't tell you is how many wristbands they give out because they only give out 100 wristbands per event. Every like little booth event, they have like only 100 wristbands, so I couldn't do anything. I would tell you, if you want to go just to experience it, go ahead. But if you want to go just because you want to see the panels and all that, I would just wait, save your money, go to Disney World, and actually have like a fun vacation. Because it's not worth it. Like, I paid like $200 something to get in, and I couldn't do anything. I could only do my one Golden Girls panel, which was fun, but like, you want to go see the big things. I couldn't even see the Star Wars model because it was a 2.5 hour wait. Like, I'm not gonna wait 2 hours to see a Star Wars model. You can see all the photos online. All the news is literally like shown 5 minutes after the event. The only thing that you did get in the Disney Parks panel was a Fantasmic Fast Pass, which kind of sucked because I had been waiting for Fantasmic for the whole day because I knew there was gonna be a soft opening. And then they tell us, oh no, you have to get out because D23 is gonna be there. So I was so sad. The good thing is, we asked City Hall to see if we could talk to somebody about the D23 Expo. And when we told City Hall what had happened, one of the very nice ladies at City Hall gave us a park hopper pass for the next day. So that's why we got to go to Disneyland 2 days. That was a good thing. But if not for that, I wouldn't have been able to see Fantasmic because I had given out all the passes. All of Rivers of America was given all the good seats. Like, you're not going to want to sit all the way where Haunted Mansion is. Nobody wants to see the side of Mickey. But, yeah, I definitely would save your money to go to Disney rather than going to the D23 Expo. But I hope you guys liked this video. I'm sorry I couldn't do much because, you know, I just told you. But, so, I'm sorry I couldn't do much because I just told you why. But, thanks for watching my video. And I'll see you all very, very soon.